Hey, Travis. Have you seen the group text Kathy sent out to the family?
Hey, Linda. Yeah, I saw it. I can't believe it. Our little Kathy is getting married. Seemed like just yesterday she graduated high school. And her fiancé is coming this Saturday, right? I can't wait to meet him.
She's 25, Travis. 7 years isn't exactly yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it feels like yesterday. It's just crazy to think that when we first got married, she was only 5 years old. She's been a part of my life for so long that I honestly feel like she's my real daughter, not just my stepdaughter.
I guess I can understand why you'd feel that way, but just remember one thing, it's only a feeling. You can enjoy the feeling while it lasts, but it'll never be more than that.
Huh?
You might have been acting as a stand-in for her father for 20 years, but that's all you'll ever be. You're not her real father.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm aware of that, but geez. You have to be so harsh to me like that?
Do you think I'd be talking to you like this without a reason?
Linda, what's going on? What are you trying to say?
If I have to spell it out for you, I'm saying that your time is up, Travis. I've been talking to Kathy's father, Nate, and we've decided to get back together.
What?
Back when we divorced, Nate was working at a super high-stress company. The stress got to him, and he had a mental breakdown that cost him his job. I figured there would be no way he could support Kathy and me until he worked his issues out, so I asked him to divorce me, and he agreed. But now it's been 20 years since then. We met up again about 6 months ago, and he was like a brand new man. He's a high-powered executive now. He runs his own company. Kathy knows you're not her real father, and since she's out on her own now, I figured it was about time her real father stepped back into the role officially.
Linda, what are you saying?
You really still don't get it? I want Kathy's real father to walk her down the aisle at the wedding. As my husband, it's time, Travis. We're getting divorced. I think that should make it crystal clear, right? I want to get it done as soon as possible, before her fiancé comes over on Saturday. If her fiancé meets you, it'll just make things more complicated. Since I'll be married to Nate by the wedding, that means the groom and his family will start asking questions like, "Wait, so which one is her father?" or something. That's an awkward conversation I would really prefer to avoid.
You seem like you've worked this all out for yourself in your head. But have you thought to ask Kathy what she thinks?
She's my daughter, Travis. I don't need to hear it from her mouth to know what she's thinking.
I see. Fine then. We'll get divorced. On one condition. First, you have to talk to Kathy directly, in person, and see how she feels about everything.
I told you I don't need to ask her. Of course she's going to choose her real father. God, were you always this much of a whiny loser? I'm starting to wish I had made this move sooner. Just do everyone a favor and never talk to Kathy again, okay?
I've made up my mind. I'm talking to Kathy first before making any decisions.
No one likes a pathetic, clingy old man, Travis.
I've still got work to do today, so I'll take my leave from this conversation here. Hey, Kathy. I saw the group text you sent out.
Hey, Dad.
I'm so happy to hear that Mitch finally proposed to you. I know how strongly you felt about him for some time now. Congratulations.
Finally is right. He said he was able to pay back the last of his student loans, so he thought now was the time.
Wow, all paid off already? That guy is a real hard worker. He's a keeper, Kathy. You take care of him, you hear?
Oh, I plan on it. By the way,
What is it?
how are you doing after, well, you know?
Ah, there. Yeah, your mom dropped that thermonuclear warhead on me while I was on my lunch break today. Apparently her and Nate are getting back together, so she wants me out of the picture.
Yeah, that's my understanding too. Seriously, how can she do a thing like this? I was so shocked when she told me what was going on that I couldn't speak. I couldn't cry. I could barely even move. And then she told me I don't need to worry about you because since Nate's some big shot businessman, she can leave you all the assets in the divorce.
Oh, wow. I'm touched that she's going out of her way to be so considerate to me. She's so generous. A regular Mother Teresa.
Did she tell you anything else?
She said she wants to get the divorce settled by Saturday so she can introduce Nate as your father when Mitch comes over this weekend.
Saturday? Isn't that just a teensy bit soon?
Her plan is to have Nate walk you down the aisle at your wedding and have him at the family table as her husband. She said she wants to avoid having any awkward conversation with Mitch's family, so she only wants them to ever meet Nate.
What? No, not a chance. That is not happening. Absolutely not. I mean, sure, he may be my biological dad, but he hasn't been any part of my life in 20 years. I barely even met him.
I thought you'd feel that way, but your mother seems to have it in her head that you'd have the same position as her in all of this. It looks like her assumption missed the mark a bit.
Seriously? But, I mean, I've already talked to Mitch about our family's circumstances. He knows the whole story. Sure, I never told Mom that I talked to him, but did she really think I'd withhold a detail that massive from my own fiancé?
Yeah, and what's more, Mitch and I have already met, so I'm not sure what she thinks she's preventing.
I know, right? But I guess Mom doesn't know about that either. And another thing, about the wedding. Mitch and I were planning on telling you guys this when he comes by on Saturday, but we're not going to do a formal ceremony. We're doing what's called a photo wedding, where you just take pictures as if it were a real wedding.
Oh, really? You know, I think I have heard of those before.
Yeah, they're kind of a new thing. Mitch's parents both passed away when he was young, and he has no siblings, so we thought it would be a good plan. Plus, you know, I'm not one for gaudy events, getting dressed fancy, being paraded in front of a bunch of people, that sort of thing.
I see. Glad you're on the same page.
Oh, the people at the venue did say that it was okay to bring guests along on the day of the photo shoot. I'm going to send you an invitation to that, so be sure to save the date, okay?
Gotcha. I'll be sure to set it aside.
That leaves one problem, though. Mom.
Yeah, that's kind of a big problem.
After all, I'm pretty sure Mom still has no idea that we know she's been having an affair, and this whole "we just happened to run into each other" nonsense is all a cover. There's no way she'd be telling that bold of a lie if she knew.
You're right.
So what do you think, Dad? What are you gonna do?
Well, she just handed me the divorce papers a bit ago.
Wow, already?
Yep. I'm gonna make my move tomorrow.
Tomorrow, huh? Well, I'm rooting for you, Dad.
Thanks, sweetheart. Hi, Linda. I submitted the divorce papers to the courthouse on my way home from work.
Wow, already? You're more obedient than I thought you would be. Good boy.
Yeah, I just want to get this out of the way so I can get on with my life.
Oh, well, good for you. All I want is to be divorced as soon as possible, so the sooner the better.
Right, the sooner the better. So, the sooner you get out of my house, the better. You have till tomorrow morning.
What? You're kicking me out?
The house is in my name.
Oh, well, I guess you're right.
Don't tell me. You haven't made new living arrangements yet? You're not stupid enough to throw a stack of divorce papers at me without having a plan for what you're going to do after a divorce is finalized, are you?
Of course not. I just, was caught off guard by the fact that you got the divorce papers submitted so soon, that's all. I'll start packing up my stuff tomorrow morning.
No, didn't you hear me? I told you that you're going to be out of my house by tomorrow morning.
You're only giving me till morning?
I'll be staying at my friend's place tonight, so get your things in order and get the hell out. I'm gonna come by the house at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. You had better be gone by then.
Come on, by 9 a.m.? I'm gonna have to stay up all night in order to get all my stuff packed and move out in time.
I don't care what you have to do. Get it done. It was you who told me you wanted to get divorced as soon as possible, and I gave you what you wanted. We're divorced. That's my house you're in, and I want you out by tomorrow morning.
Fine, jeez. I'll do it, just get off my back. Hey, Travis, just letting you know I finished moving my stuff out just now.
Good. Thanks for letting me know.
If you don't mind, can I ask you something?
Make it quick.
Kathy hasn't been answering any of my calls or texts since last night. Do you know anything? Has she spoken to you at all?
No, I didn't message Kathy at all yesterday.
Oh. Okay.
Is that all you wanted? Can I go now?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Great. Now that that's settled, I no longer have any reason to communicate directly with you in the future. If you need anything from me, you'll have to do it through my attorney. You still have his card, don't you?
Yeah, I got it. Travis, this is all you're doing, isn't it?
I was very clear when I told you to talk to my attorney.
I don't have that kind of time. This is an emergency. What did you tell Nate, Travis, huh? Tell me right now. I just showed up at his house with my stuff to move in and he refused to let me in. What's going on?
Yeah, I figured that would happen.
Explain yourself now.
When he got back from his overseas business venture a year ago and the two of you met up, he had no idea that you had remarried, did he? Oh, Nate. It's been so difficult being a single mother these long 20 years. I was so lonely. You have no idea how hard it is to raise a child on your own as a woman in this society. Is that what you told him? I bet you threw in some crocodile tears too. You probably put on the best display of acting in your life to try and win back the man you rejected now that he's found success.
Did you meet Nate?
Well, to be more precise, we've never actually met in person. All of our communicating has been through our respective lawyers. But he did provide me with an affidavit stating that he had no idea you were a married woman, that you had lied to him and deceived him, that he was terribly sorry for any harm that has come to me, and that he's breaking up with you.
I don't believe this. How could you do something so dirty as going behind my back like that? You're a real creep, you know that?
You think you're in any position to be talking to me like that?
This can't be happening. I just went by Kathy's apartment, but she wasn't there. The whole place was dark. Then when I messaged her, she said that she didn't want to see me, so she was hiding out at her fiancé's house for a while. First Nate, now Kathy? Why? Why is this happening to me?
Ordinarily, I would just tell you to talk to my lawyer again, but since this has to do with Kathy, allow me to fill in the blanks.
Hurry up and tell me what's going on with her.
Kathy knew that you were having an affair.
She did? How?
She saw the two of you in the act with her own two eyes. She could tell that the guy you were with had the same eyes as she did. It wasn't that hard to figure out what was going on.
She saw us? Oh no.
It doesn't make a bit of difference that the two of you were married in the past. You were married to me at the time. You betrayed my trust. You're nothing but a low-down, good-for-nothing cheater.
But he's not just my ex-husband, he's Kathy's real dad.
Real? Why are you so caught up on that word? Who's more of her real dad? The one who took her to her first day of school? Went to her high school graduation and paid for her college education? Or the one who has been completely out of her life for as long as she's had a mind of her own? And when she talks about her dad, she's not talking about Nate. She's talking about me.
Be that as it may, I'm still her mother.
If only you hadn't cheated on me, we'd still be married and you'd still be able to enjoy the same happy, loving relationship with your daughter that you always had. Shame. Damn shame.
But you don't understand. He's a high-powered executive running his own business.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet he makes significantly more than me. A mid-level employee at a mid-sized firm, so he'd definitely be able to provide you with a much higher standard of living than I can right now. Maybe you should have divorced me before shacking up with him.
Well,
All you had to do was be honest. Sure, you may have had a bit of issues to work out, but you could have wound up in a much happier, more positive position than the one you find yourself in now.
Travis, do you think we can work things out between us?
Not a chance in hell.
I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement. We can start over, get a fresh start.
I'm done talking to you.
No!
Now, for real this time. Anything else you want to say to me? Tell it to my lawyer.
I don't want to talk to your lawyer. I want to talk to you.
If you'd like to arrange a meeting with me, talk to my lawyer. He'll tell you no, though.
Travis, wait!
With nowhere else to run, Linda went crawling back to her parents' house to live with them. My lawyer went over there to discuss the possibility of settling my lawsuit for her affair out of court, which she agreed to. It seems like at the time she assumed that her parents would agree to foot the bill for her. But they're both retired and on a fixed income, so there was no way they could scrounge together the money to pay the bill for her. In the end, her father arranged for her to go be a live-in maid at the house of an acquaintance of his. 6 months after that, Linda crashed into the wedding venue for Kathy's wedding and shouted, "I'm the mother of the bride. I deserve to be a part of this." However, Kathy's photo shoot had taken place a week earlier. When she realized her mistake, she went completely berserk and started trashing the place. Which means that now she has 2 lawsuit debts she needs to work off. Thanks to her escapades, the guy who hired her decided he didn't want anything to do with her, so he fired her and kicked her out onto the street. And the street is where she's been living ever since, doing odd jobs here and there in a futile attempt to get herself out of debt.
Iris, thanks for the planner as my birthday gift. I finally understand why you told me not to get a planner this year.
Happy birthday, Uncle Alan. You can buy whatever you need for yourself, right? That's why I wanted to give you something you really need.
Anything I get from you is appreciated, huh? We don't have any kids and you're like a daughter to me.
I also see you as the second father, you know.
But could you not say that in front of my brother? He gets upset, claiming you're his daughter.
I know.
So, Iris, how have you been recently? I heard from my brother that you moved in with your husband's parents.
Yes, that's right. We're living with my husband's parents, 4 of us in total.
That's rare these days. No offense, but isn't it tough to live together with them? Or are your in-laws good-natured enough that you don't mind living with them?
I thought they might be nice people at first. But since we started discussing living together, I've started to feel something's off. Oh, don't tell this to my dad, okay? I don't want to say anything bad about my in-laws to my parents.
I understand. I won't tell them. The relationship between in-laws can be tricky. But you shouldn't put up with anything if they are bothering you.
Yes.
You're not being mistreated, are you?
I wouldn't call it mistreatment, but more like they are too attached to my husband. I think they may feel like they lost him to me after we got married. That's why sometimes they subtly put me down or exclude me from meals.
That sounds like mistreatment. Who dares to do that to our Iris? Isn't your husband Barry doing anything about it?
Oh, Barry does stand up for me. So, don't worry. But if they were people who would heed warnings, they wouldn't do such things in the first place, right? Well, that's how it is.
If I were you, I'd move out right away.
Yes, Barry also says living together was a mistake. We initially moved in because Barry's job transfer was postponed. This came to light after we had terminated our lease. Then, my mother-in-law said we could stay with them for a while.
Still, I think anyone would be against moving in together.
That's true, but she was very persuasive and I was eventually won over. I agreed, thinking it was only for a month, but then Barry's job transfer kept getting delayed. However, we are considering moving out soon. We're contributing to the household expenses, equivalent to rent, so it'd be better to live separately. Well, we haven't told my in-laws yet.
Good, that's the way to go. You don't need to be around people who mistreat you.
Yes, I'll try to slowly distance myself and manage somehow. Once we're apart, My mother-in-law probably won't care about me so much. Sorry for unloading my complaints on you. But somehow I feel better now, thank you.
I was the one who asked, so don't apologize. Don't push yourself too hard, okay? And always feel free to talk to me if something comes up.
Iris, when are you going to be back from the grocery store? You're not just slacking off on the housework, are you?
I apologize, Hilda. The shopping is done, I'm just stopping by the dry cleaners on the way home.
I could have done all that within an hour if I were you. You really can't do anything right, can you? Yesterday's dinner was too heavily seasoned as well. Are your taste buds off?
I apologize, I'll go a little lighter with the seasoning today.
You should. If I had to eat food like that every day, I'd get sick. Oh, is this intentional because Barry's been on a business trip since yesterday? Are you trying to do something awful to me while Barry's away?
No, I'm not intending that way.
Really? I don't see any kindness from you towards me or Carl. You don't just dismiss us because we're your in-laws, do you?
No way. So please don't say such a thing.
Then take us on a trip. Show some filial piety.
A trip, you say? Where to?
Somewhere with nature where we can relax would be nice. I've always wanted to go on a family trip. Hey, your mom is on social media, isn't she?
Oh, that's right, she started it.
I have her contact registered, so her post popped up the other day. She was staying at a relative's vacation house, wasn't she?
Yes.
I saw that, and thought I wanted to stay at a place like that with my family. I was surprised to find out you have a relative who owns a vacation house. You have wealthy relatives, don't you?
Well, yes. That's true.
Let us stay at that vacation house too.
But the accessibility to that house isn't very good. It's impossible without a car.
Carl or Barry can drive us. So, can we? You'll ask for us, won't you?
I'll ask, but please don't get your hopes up.
What? Are you saying we're not considered a part of your family? Are you saying that your mother and her folks are okay, but not us?
No, it's nothing like that. The cabin is rented out like an Airbnb. So we can't just book it any time.
If the owner agrees, then sure, anything is possible. This lets me know what you really think about us. When we get refused, well, I'll just take that as how you feel about me.
I myself don't own the cabin, so.
Enough with the excuses. Oh, by the way, we're running low on food for Max. Can you pick some up while you're out shopping? They don't sell it at the supermarket, so you must go to our usual vet.
Isn't that in the next town over?
Yes. Is there a problem?
No, I'll head there.
Great, take care of it. But make sure you come back as soon as possible.
Hilda, isn't the car wash over yet? And I don't see anyone from the pet hotel either. Could you give me their contact details? I'll give them a call.
They won't be coming.
What?
Haven't you noticed yet?
Noticed what?
Carl and I went out for a car wash, and it's been over an hour now, hasn't it?
Yes.
We left you behind and are heading to the cabin.
What? But I have the keys.
Oh, we took them without you noticing. We also got the location from you, so we don't need you anymore. We'll enjoy ourselves with Barry, who's coming straight from his business trip, and the three of us as a family.
You planned to leave me behind from the beginning.
Yes, because it's a family trip.
I see, I'm not part of the family.
A daughter-in-law is different, you know. You can look after Max as you are our daughter-in-law.
I see. Understood.
Oh, don't say anything unnecessary to my son, okay? I'll tell him you're staying home because you caught a cold. You understand our hope to spend some time as a family, don't you? If you care about your in-laws, do as I say.
Yes, I won't tell him.
I'm glad. Iris, you're such an understanding daughter-in-law. While we're away, take care of the dog, and do a deep cleaning as well. If you do as I told you, I might consider acknowledging you as part of my family. So, make sure you do what you're told.
Iris, have you arrived at the vacation home?
Yeah. I think so.
Think? What do you mean by think? How's the vacation home? Is your husband's family happy?
Since I'm the daughter-in-law, I'm staying home. Oh, but I'm not alone. Max, the dog, is staying home with me too.
What? Staying at home? Just because you're the daughter-in-law?
You invited them. Why were you left behind?
It seems they didn't want to take me in the first place. They said they were going to wash the car before we left, and it turns out that it was a lie just to leave me behind.
What the? How could they do such a terrible thing? If you hadn't asked, I wouldn't have lent them my place.
Alan, I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize, Iris. The ones at fault are your in-laws.
What's Barry doing?
He doesn't know. He's going straight to the vacation home from his business trip. Plus, Hilda told me not to tell him anything. She said, if I care about them, I won't make a fuss.
Iris.
Are you okay with this?
Not really. But we're moving soon. Even if I speak up, my in-laws won't listen.
Iris, what does Barry's dad do for a living?
Huh? Just a regular office worker.
Tell me the name of his company. And Barry's contact information as well.
I should share this information just in case.
Alan, what are you planning to do?
They're messing with my dear niece like this.
I can't just let this slide.
Even if you try to keep your distance. I don't think Barry's mother is the type to stop this harassment.
You're right. I'll tell Barry everything, and I'll clearly express my feelings to my in-laws. I don't think they'll understand, though.
Even so, it's better to do that, and it's most important to take measures to prevent this from happening again.
I'm genuinely glad to be a CEO right now.
Wait, what are you really going to do?
I won't do anything to make it worse. All I do is a little cooperation. So, Iris, feel free to voice your concerns.
Iris. Your uncle is the CEO of that famous company. Isn't that the company my husband's company does business with?
Yes, that's correct.
Why didn't you tell us before? If we knew you were the niece of the CEO, we wouldn't have left you behind.
Just because my uncle is a CEO doesn't make me any different. I'm just a housewife. Please, don't make a fuss about it.
How can I not? Carl might get demoted, you know.
Is that so?
I heard it from Barry, who arrived late to the villa. He said your uncle is furious about you being left behind.
I'm sorry, it seems like my uncle may have overreacted a bit.
It's not a laughing matter. Look, I'm sorry for what happened before. Can you please ask your uncle to reconsider Carl's demotion? Who else could do it?
I've always tried my best to have a good relationship with you. But after living together for a few months, I realized that no matter what I do, you will never approve of me.
That's not true. We didn't dislike you or anything.
Well, that's how I felt. Whenever Barry tried to correct your attitude, it only made things worse. And there wasn't a single act of kindness towards me since we moved in. I was hoping we could get along better, but it seemed pointless.
It's not pointless. Actually, I was impressed with you. You always do things properly as you're told, and you never show any dissatisfaction. You're so obedient.
I see. If I could be of any help to you all, that's good.
Iris, let's have a better relationship from now on. Carl is really upset, and you know, he never did anything wrong to you, did he?
He is completely under your thumb, isn't he? But I think just standing by and doing nothing is just as bad. It's obvious that I've been treated badly since we've been living together.
When the demotion came up, I was blamed for it. He, that quiet man, told me he didn't even want to see my face.
Well, you both reaped what you sowed, didn't you?
I admit that we've mistreated you so far. I will apologize properly. So please, I'm begging you, forgive us. We really won't hurt you again.
Sure. Then before you leave the cabin, could you mow the lawn around there? And also clean the outside windows.
I have to do it. This cabin is supposed to be maintained by someone, right?
He is letting you stay here for free, aren't you? At least do that.
I'll do it. Let me do it. Once I finish those 2 tasks, you'll forgive me, right?
And from here on out, let's share the housework until we move out. And we'll never live together again. I'll also prohibit you from entering the new home we're moving to.
Then I won't be able to see my son.
If you want to see him, call him over to your house.
Do you really think he will come to us with this situation?
Who put us in this situation? Isn't it you? Do I need to be considerate of that?
Maybe you're right. Okay. I'll do everything as you say. So please, tell your uncle we've resolved things. Tell him you've forgiven us.
I understand. I'll consider it once everything's done.
Consider it. Aren't you going to forgive us?
I'll consider that. So, please don't expect too much.
Don't say such cruel things. We're still family, right?
Please don't make me laugh. Didn't you say that a daughter-in-law is not family?
I'm sorry. What I said to you was wrong. It's just because our son always takes your side. It was just a little bit of spite. It wasn't how I really felt.
It didn't feel like a little bit of spite to me. It felt like your true feelings.
Iris, I'm really sorry. If Carl becomes unemployed at this age, we won't be able to survive. Please help us.
Anyway, I don't consider you two as a family. What happens from here is up to you. So, please do as exactly you're told, okay? Whether you actually do it or not. I'll take that as your true feelings. After that, my parents-in-laws did as I asked, taking care of mowing the lawn and cleaning up, and returned to their home. Also, she began to constantly observe my mood. Until we moved, all I had to do was cleaning my own and my husband's rooms and doing the laundry. Whenever I tried to prepare meals, she would insist on doing it, so I let her. Their attitude changed 180 degrees, so I've been able to live at their house without any stress. And I've managed to move out peacefully. I was satisfied just being able to say what I'd like to say. But thanks to my uncle, I was able to re-establish our relationship smoothly. It feels like a bit of cheating, but honestly, I am so relieved. By the way, my uncle never intended to demote my father-in-law in the first place. It seems like he just put in a word to the CEO of his company, in case it could act as a deterrent. My husband says he doesn't ever need to spill the beans. So I think he will behave at least until he retires. In the meantime, my husband is sure to get transferred. And given the physical distance, as we will be living separately, I plan to prepare to keep our interactions to a minimum. Now that I've moved away from their house, I can finally live freely. When I was living with them, my mother-in-law was so demanding that I barely had time for myself. Even so, I did my best to get along as long as possible. But there are efforts in life that you don't need to make. Since I've restarted my work from home and have time for myself, I am happy to be able to live a very fulfilling daily life. From now on, I'd like to cherish my kind husband and my own family even more, and lead joyful happy life with my loved one.